What do you think we can do to enhance the plight of the children?
Well, what we can do to enhance the plight of the children is, first of all, to even thank God that we are alive to witness another Children's Day. That means our children are standing a chance to have their plight looked into. Now we are in a country where we have had several legislations, several bills translated into law for the sake of the children. Nigeria has an up and running Child Rights Act. In some states where they see that children do not have rights, they call it the Child Protection Law. But then we need to go beyond just enacting laws. Some people say there is lack of implementation. So the government is trying. Now we are in a time where everybody must take ownership of the process. Every one of us is a major stakeholder, either as a parent, as an institution, as a government, as a caregiver. We should all see the roles we can play or bring to bear to ensure that the plight of the Nigerian child is protected, is promoted, and they have meaningful childhood translating into adulthood.
Okay, closely following that, out of school children scenario.
You all know what CLEF is.
Particularly in the northern Nigeria, the out of school children.
What CLEF particularly is an organization that was founded over 25 years ago and have been seen to if their children they go back to school, because we are already ravaged with child labor and trafficking. When a child doesn't go to school, it is majorly because of poverty. They cannot afford to take the child to school. So a child is now forced to be a co-breadwinner for the family. He or she is given to child trafficking or child labor, as we may call it. Begins to sell, begins to raise revenue for the family. Sometimes for the girl child, she is even her own education is truncated or sacrificed for that of the counterpart for the boys. So we need to begin to look at incentivizing education, making it easy, bringing it to the communities where a child can just walk into a classroom and have her education, so that it becomes something that it is easy for parents to do. And how do we incentivize education? By saying that, number one, it is free. Nigeria is trying. In most of the northern states, basic education is free. But have the mindset of parents been addressed to see that education is good? We have had this issue of Boko Haram. Boko Haram is like saying that Western education is not a good thing. What are the alternatives to education? Literacy. If there is no Western education, we can have just literacy and human capital development through skills acquisition. In that way, even if Western education is not optimal, why don't we have girls engaging in skills they are good at? So that is how we are beginning to see it. If there are laws, there are laws. State governments are already trying, bringing up platforms where they have free and compulsory education, especially at the basic level. But then, how many children are going to the classrooms? Sometimes they cannot afford the uniforms. I know that in Adamawa State, they don't pay school fees, but we still have children on the streets. Why? They cannot buy school uniforms. They do not have exercise books. Some cannot even go to the school, and their parents just feel that school is not for them. They should make money for the family. So number one, there must be some kind of reorientation of our minds to see the gains of education. That is the first thing. Number two, if a child does not want to enter the classroom for Western education, have we started considering human capital development in the place of skills acquisition? These are things we must begin to look at. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Even if we may bring schools to some people's doorsteps, they may not want to enter that classroom. And there are some people that are not even wired to enter the classroom. What alternatives are we bringing to them so that they can become literate and they can enter the classrooms? Another area we must look at is transitioning. While basic education may be accessible, is it meaningful after secondary school for a lot of them? Because even when they finish, they don't finish with the best grades and they get married. So what is the transition rate? What value are we bringing to transition? can they enter the universities at the same pace of free education? Or after university, are there platforms where they can go to, like training colleges and polytechnics, if they cannot get university education? Those are things we need to begin to speak to as a nation. That no matter at what level, there should be value added to every child.
As a follow-up now,
I earlier mentioned that poverty sometimes ravages the mind. But even with that poverty, government is trying to now build a bridge that, okay, even if a child cannot afford to go to school, let us make it free, let us make it compulsory. But sometimes the mindset now brings in ideas. My child is not for school, let me marry her off, let her hawk for me, and that is where what clef comes in. Or let her go to the cities and work for a family, maybe there will be a better future for them. And destinies have been truncated due to this. So poverty plays a major role in the mindset of a lot of parents. And even where the poverty is not there, sometimes even the children are not encouraging. Some of them do not want to go to school. So there are a lot of ways we should address.
Can you give a comment?
The recent one from the Ministry of Women Affairs is to speak out against bullying. Now, this now does not even look at out-of-school children or girl-child marriage. It's looking at even children in school. There's a lot of bullying in the media, in the cyberspace. Children are bullied in schools, and there's this culture of silence even in the school. Out of fear, they cannot speak to their parents. Out of fear, they cannot speak to their caregivers, who are the teachers that they spend more than 9 hours of their day with. Out of fear, they do not tell anybody. Depression comes in, they are traumatized. Some get really depressed and they commit suicide. Children are now falling below their potentials due to somebody overpowering them. Bullying, which is a major crime. And it stems from somewhere. The bully must be an abused child. The bully must be an abused child who grew up in a very tense environment. Because it's power play, imposing your power on a vulnerable partner. So we need to address bullying from the place of the parents, to the place of the caregivers, and to the place of the society at large, and even access to the cyberspace, to the social media. Because some children are connected through the social media. They are told to commit suicide. If you don't commit suicide, we are going to, even we adults, sometimes there's bullying for us. So this is a generation we want to build of a bullying-free environment. That is what we are looking at this, this year's Children's Day celebration or commemoration.
Okay.
Child marriage is a very, very tricky topic, because biologically, a girl's reproductive system is easier for her when she marries earlier. She begins to have her children early. Our mothers married at the age of 18. By 30, they were done, and their children became like their siblings. But a lot of complications come when women marry later in life, and it now becomes difficult. So sometimes those that are advocating for girl-child marriage look at it from that premise, that a woman settles and is easy having her children when she marries early. But now the flip side to girl-child marriage is that a lot of things are forgone. Number one, education. Number two, her even growing up to be old enough to make informed decisions about herself. Her development as a woman. Can a woman define herself as a child? You are married at 14. What do you possibly know? How can you defend yourself? How can you define yourself? What do you know about yourself? In a society that is evolving and the world is becoming a global village where women and girls are blazing their trail in business, in technology, and even in their marriages are becoming valuable partners in development. A girl that is married at 14 has her life ended, and the health implication. Some of them have their children early and have their reproductive system totally messed up. And as you know, they get stigmatized at that point, especially in northern Nigeria, because with VVF you cannot even sit close to them. We advocate for early childbearing, but what of the downside of even that to their reproductive organs and what it does to development. When a girl child is allowed to grow, she goes to school, has a basic form of literacy. You'll notice that in my conversation, I do not say they must all go to the university. Basic literacy to communicate with her world and to make decisions. English, communication, and arithmetic. If she can get that basic form of literacy, either go to university as the case may be, or learn a skill, or have some form of training, she knows that this is what I want. This is what I want to be. This is where I want to go. Even as a married woman, with that form of value, she'll be valuable and resourceful to the husband. But when you have a child, most men that marry women at that age, when they grow, they want to marry another woman who is literate. So we advocate against girl-child marriage, not because of anything, but because we see every girl as an individual who reserves the right to make decisions for herself, who reserves the right to be a human being and to interact properly and to add value to herself first and to the society at large.
Maybe conclusion.
Next message for 2025 Children's Day is that we must all take ownership of the process. As media practitioners, we have to take the message to the world as we are doing now. As civil society, we must not keep quiet. Transformation comes from the renewal of the mind. And the reason why we speak endlessly is because we want minds renewed. We have laws, we have conventions that we are signatories to. Implementation is not only from the part of the government, it's from the part of the parents, it's from the part of the society, it's from the part of the community, it's from the part of the learning institution, it is from the part of every one of us. What role do we have to play? If you brighten the corner where you are, you will see that one life is being touched, and that life may be a savior tomorrow. If we all play our roles, we will significantly reduce the menace of vices against children, and we'll see that the rights of children are well preserved and they will become the future of tomorrow that we seek to see.